Today we are bringing back the monthly resets. I'm so looking forward to this. If you guys aren't sure what these are, they're essentially a time to kind of prep for a new month, reflect over your goals over the last month, what you achieved, what you didn't achieve, map out how you want things to go. I love watching these videos. They originally started from my friend Carter on YouTube. She is so much fun to watch. If you're looking for another YouTuber, I'll have her link down below. They can kind of be whatever you want them to be. Some people budget in them, some people go over goals. I personally stopped doing these last year because they just felt a little bit too rigid for me. I didn't think that I was always in this state of mind of wanting to form new goals or reflect all the time. And sometimes life just passes us by so quickly that I didn't have all these new things each month. But I wanted to revamp them and just kind of make them whatever I want each month. There's not going to be a strict format, but just whatever I feel like I need going into this new month to change, alter, reflect on. For this one specifically, I wrote out a bit of a plan. I want to reflect on January, what I liked, what I didn't like about the month. We're going to set some intentions and goals. I did this on Notion. I'm so excited to share with you guys. This isn't sponsored, but I'm starting to use Notion, so I'll go through that. I want to fill out our February calendar. This is like our little family calendar, so we're going to do that. I want to work on my business expense sheet for taxes, organize my work calendar, clean out my email inbox, and then at the end, I'm going to finish with just some current favorites, which are products, but also just life things. And yeah, I think this will be a great time just to chat, hang out, and look forward to a new month. I'm feeling all the Valentine's Day vibes in this video, if you can't tell with the sweater. We got the most adorable heart mug. So romanticizing the coldest month of the year today. That's the plan. Starting with reflecting on January, this will be where I go through my goals for each month from the previous one, but I don't have any since I'm just now starting it this month. Things that I liked, a lot of these things are kind of contributing to my yearly goals, which I have a whole video of that if you guys want to watch it. The first one was creating my travel vlog to Kauai. This was something that I love to do. I love creating travel content and loved how that video turned out. I also wanted to start monthly resets, so we're doing that today. That's another thing I like. I did a bit of hosting this month, which is also one of my yearly goals, and I had so much fun. My friends Rachel and Anna came in town, and that was a blast. I have a whole vlog of that. Rachel did one on her channel too, but it was so nice getting to hang out with my girlfriends. We're also having a baby shower for my sister-in-law this weekend, so I'm really looking forward to that, and I think it's going to be a good time. Something I'm trying to get more comfortable with is just having people over more and welcoming people in. And sometimes for me, my personality type, I can get just unnecessarily stressed about that stuff, but I'm trying to kind of work that muscle and get better. I'll talk about this later, but we also got set up with a CPA, which has been one of my goals, and just a business planner in general, so I'll talk more about that later. Things that I didn't really love about January, for one, I have been getting very stuck in my head in January. For the past couple of weeks, have just been in a funk. I did a vlog kind of getting out of that, but I have been dealing with some comparison lately and just scrolling on social media too much, and have just not been in the right headspace with that stuff. So that's something that we're gonna work on in February. And really the only other thing has been not keeping up with my emails super well. That's something I want to get better at in February, but I just have not been closing the loop on a lot of those things, and so I want to work on that in February. That was my January. It was kind of a chaotic month, but in a really good way, and I'm thankful that February we have some things to look forward to. For my February intentions, I'm so excited because I just started using Notion, and Notion is a lot of fun, but it also is extremely intimidating. If you're someone like me who's just never used something like this, it can be really helpful if you have employees. I know if you're working like a traditional job, a lot of people use Notion, but I've never thought to use it just for myself with doing my own business online, running my social medias and all that jazz. But it is so much fun. I actually found this template from Becca Watson, who I'm sure you guys know on YouTube. She creates beautiful, beautiful videos, and her layout is so nice. It made kind of figuring out Notion a lot easier. I'm still definitely figuring it out, and I just switched a few things. I changed some photos, I changed some of the widgets, and It was great. I think it's about $10 on Etsy, so I'll have that link down below, but it's just nice for kind of tracking your daily to-do list, your monthly calendar. She has a habit tracker, she has monthly goals, yearly goals, and so this is kind of how I zhuzhed it to fit my personal just aesthetic and life in general. And so I have a section right here for yearly goals, and I like to have these up because it's nice when you're thinking about the month ahead to look back on the year and see what are ways that you can contribute in a small way to those yearly goals. And so these are mine. Like I mentioned, I have a whole video of these up, and I just like to have those at top of mine. I have a verse up there. And then I also did my monthly goals too. I made this section. And when it comes to goals for me, I like to separate things into work, health, personal, and finances. And so for this month, for work goals, one, I want to try to post more Instagram content. I feel like I've fallen off on doing as many, specifically reels, because I think reels are kind of the best way, especially on Instagram, to grow. I love photos too, but I have a bad habit of only posting photos when I travel. And so I need to kind of work on that too and create some more Dallas content on Instagram in terms of photos, but I want to work on that. And I also want to work on keeping up with business expenses, because I'll talk about this in my finance section, but I mentioned how we signed up with an accountant who's also like a business planner. And so we have some financial things to work on there. Health, I want this to be a healthy month. So we have quite a few health goals. For one, I want to try to start doing hot Pilates once a week, maybe once every other week. I did my first hot Pilates class nearby recently, and it was so nice. And especially with trying to be better at cycle syncing my workouts and incorporating more lower intensity workouts during my luteal phase and my menstrual cycle. I think that hot Pilates would be so nice. And it was so much fun. I went to this place called Shine in Dallas, and it was great. So I would love to keep that up. I also want to keep up with my daily vitamins. Right now I'm taking a probiotic, vitamin D, prenatal vitamins. These are all doctor recommended too. I didn't just decide to take these. I think you should always consult your doctor. I definitely feel better, especially keeping up with the probiotic and the vitamin D. Those are kind of the main ones for me, and the prenatal as I'm thinking about conception and all that, but I want to be better at that. Prioritizing sleep. So I, like I'd mentioned, have been in a bit of a funk, and with that, I find myself just feeling more anxious before bed, and I have not been sleeping great lately. It is why I have some lovely breakouts right here and have just not been feeling the most energized because my sleep has not been great. And so I need to work on kind of working through some of those feelings and thoughts, because those definitely do affect my sleep. I want to keep up with my skincare routine. I'm actually trying out Trilogy right now. I love their products, but especially their vitamin C serum. It has been a game changer. Before my sleep was messed up, it was really helping my breakouts. But yeah, I want to keep up with that skincare routine, and also stop picking my skin. I don't really know what section to put this in, but I am embarking on a journey of not popping my pimples. I know this is not anything revolutionary, but I pick at my skin in such a bad way, and I just want to be better at not doing that, because I have a lot of acne scarring and just staining right now, and I'm trying to clear that up with the vitamin C serum. But I have a really bad habit of picking at my skin, so I want to get better at that. For personal goals, I want to have a declutter day in February. I typically do this once a quarter, and I think I already did this in the winter time technically, but I'm just feeling a little bit overwhelmed lately with the amount of stuff that we have in here. And so I want to pick a day. I'll probably vlog this too, of just going through our home, decluttering, especially before springtime. I love to just have that clean slate. And so I want to work on that. I want to spend more time unplugged with friends. We have a couple of trips in February. We're going to a wedding. Those are always my favorite times to really just get off my phone, hang out with friends, and really recharge in that way. I have been addicted to this thing lately. I think it's when I'm back in my routine and back just creating content and all that, I can sometimes consume a little bit too much instead of creating. And I want to just focus on creating more and not always be consuming other stuff all the time. I think you have to have free time in your schedule to just let your thoughts roam. So I want to memorize more scripture. This is a habit that I feel like I've gotten out of over the past few years, honestly, but back when I was younger, I would memorize verses all the time. My mom growing up would always have these little note cards just pinned up around our house. Like when she was getting ready, she'd have a verse up on her mirror. I think that's a great way just to prioritize memorizing scripture, and especially for me dealing with more of this kind of this funky state of mind, that is definitely something that helps me, just reminding myself where I find my source of strength and my comfort in, and that is ultimately in God. And lastly, for personal, it's just to make our bedroom homey and cozy. Our bedroom is the area that I just don't really care about, especially because we are going to move out of this apartment it come the summertime when our lease is up. It isn't really this urge in me to change our apartment right now, but I would love to record an apartment tour, a full apartment tour. And there are just a lot of spaces that are not really cute. They're just kind of there. And so I would love to find a way to not spend a ton of money, but just make our bedroom a bit more cozy. For finances, I want to start my 2022 taxes. So I keep up with these throughout the year decently. My expenses, not so much in terms of business expenses, but I am really so thrilled because we finally do have an accountant who is going to be helping us with all things business finances, which is a huge chunk of this job. I don't think a ton of people talk about this. For me, I can get so caught up in wanting to do everything on my own, and I'm trying to get better at just hiring out where it makes sense to, because ultimately you can save a lot more money doing that, especially with how you structure your business. And this is something that I've just put off because I'm like, you know, this is working right now. I don't need any help. I can do this stuff on my own. But essentially, I have discovered that no more can I do this stuff on my own, especially as we consider starting a family and everything. I just think it's nice to offload some of these responsibilities. And so we officially found someone. He is great. We also have some next steps that we need to complete for him to be able to do this stuff. And so that is on my list too for February to get that done. Now we're gonna fill out our family calendar. This is something that I started last month. It's essentially just this giant calendar that I like because you can just rip off the months, and I put over by the mirror when you walk in just so we can look at it and see any important dates. This isn't any of my work stuff. This is just personal life stuff. And so if we have any trips, if anyone's birthday is coming up, if we are having people over, I like to put everything that I can think of on here just to have top of mind. And then I also like to put in the note section just a verse to be thinking about for that month. So we're gonna go ahead and fill this out next. Next up, we have working on my business expense sheet. So I'm just gonna spend some time to do this. I'm definitely not gonna work through everything, but I want to start incorporating this into the monthly resets, so it gives me kind of a section of time to go through and do them for the month before. This is going to look like 15 seconds on this video, but this is actually going to take me about an hour or so to go through and just work through labeling all my expenses. This is one of my yearly goals, like I mentioned, and so I want to start doing this monthly so that actually gets accomplished instead of me doing this all right before tax season begins, because that's currently the state that I'm in right now, and I don't want to do that for 2023. So we're gonna work on this for a little bit. Apologies, I have my balcony door open because it is a gorgeous day, and basically any day it's sunny right now, I'm letting in the sunlight because it has been so gloomy here lately. And I know in Texas, I can't even complain about it being cold and gloomy because I'm sure other places are so much colder and also just don't get a ton of sunlight. But this time of the year, it definitely can make me feel down when I don't feel that sun. And so it's such a vibe right now, letting in all the light. I'm playing this playlist that I'll talk about later too, and it's just so nice. Now we're gonna go ahead and work on clearing out my inbox. I wanna go through my emails. I like to do this at the start of each month, and also go through my wallpaper and just kind of get rid of some stuff on there. I also wanna go through my desktop and organize some stuff, especially when I edit videos. I have music everywhere, overlays, text, graphics, and so I want to organize all that stuff. Also organize my work calendar. I actually just filmed a life admin video, and I did that in that video pretty much for the next couple of weeks, but there's still some things I can add for February, so we'll go ahead and do that. But I definitely talk more about that over in that video if you guys want to check that out. We're gonna talk about some current favorites. I can't remember if I've ever done this in a monthly reset, but I like doing this. It feels very old school YouTube. It's also a way to make this less to-do list, work, finances, that kind of stuff, and just more fun. And these are some of the things I've been loving this month. The first thing is the mug that I have shared in so much content lately. This is from Etsy. It is the cutest little tulip heart mug. I would love to have a collection of just very quirky, personalized mugs like this, and this one I think is so sweet. I also have one from Subtly Sweet Ceramics that I also really like, but they're both so sweet. This was definitely a more expensive purchase because it's handmade from Etsy. I have been using it all the time, and I think that it's gonna stay in my collection for a while, so I really like that. Another thing has been these crochet hair scarves. I actually got these from Amazon. I think this was a set of 2 for $10. Super inexpensive, but I really like these. I wore this to a picnic that we had. This one has like little cherries on it. I think it's so sweet. Maybe I can share how I actually put these in my hair in a video soon, but I really like these. I think they're a nice way just to add something to an outfit. I also have this one that's just plain cream. I really like the size of these two. They're not too big. I remember when I first wore these, I felt a little bit weird when I would go out in public wearing a hair scarf for some reason, but the more I do it, the more I just feel more confident in it. And the older I get, the more I realize that I'm kind of past the phase of wearing what's trendy, and I'm just not at that stage of life anymore. And so I love just finding little things that make me feel more like me, and crochet hair scarves, honestly any hair scarf, really just makes me feel a lot more like myself. This is a skincare thing that I mentioned earlier. This is a vitamin C booster treatment. This is from Trilogy. Have been loving this. Vitamin C is of course great for us in general, but also for your skin. And as I'm trying to fade away some acne scarring that I have been doing this. I'm actually almost out of it. It's almost been a couple of weeks since I started it, and it is so great. I feel like my skin just looks much more plump and moisturized when I use this. And of course, over the long run, I do think that it is going to fade those acne scars, because I definitely have acne prone skin. I pretty much always have breakouts on my skin, which is something I'm trying to figure out. Also, my pothos plant is a favorite. I used to have a different plant up over in the living room, but it slowly withered away. I had that one for a couple of years, and I think that it just wasn't thriving in the new space, and so I got a pothos, and it is amazing. If you're wanting to add plants to your home but you're not great at taking care of plants, pothos are amazing. You basically just water them. You can kind of forget about them. They are super easy to take care of, and that one is starting to trail, which I really like. And I'm thinking, let me know in the comments if you think that this is a good idea. I've been thinking about training it across the wall with those little plant clips above our TV. I think that that could look really cool, but it also might be a bit much. So let me know what you think about that. This is a book I've talked a lot about in so many different videos, so I don't really want to harp on it anymore, but it's called Awakening Fertility: The Essential Art of Preparing for Pregnancy. This is a beautiful book. It talks a lot about just nourishing meals, and I don't necessarily agree with everything in this book, and I think that's okay to read a book and be like, I'm gonna take that, I'm not gonna take that. Yeah, I think that's important to mention whenever I recommend books at any point, that not all of this is stuff that I'm going to take and apply to my life, but I think that you can read things and just take little snippets of it. And I love this. I love the way that it's written, and I love the way that it focuses on just kind of honoring your body and supporting your body and living a more well-rounded life. I don't know how to describe it exactly, but it says, intended for women at every stage of the preconception process, this book offers wisdom and guidance to support your body, mind, and spirit. And it also has a bunch of recipes too at the end, which I'm excited to try. And lastly is actually a playlist on Spotify. It's called Soft and Slow. I don't know if this is one of those curated playlists from Spotify or if it's just available for everyone, but I love this playlist. It is just the most soft, romantic, calming music. I've been trying to listen more to music whenever I'm driving, running errands, all that, or just working in the apartment instead of listening to as many podcasts or YouTube videos. I love YouTube. I'm such a YouTuber at my core. I love long form content. I love a 50-minute vlog and setting that up and going about my day, but with having to skip through ads that come up or switch the video, I can get distracted. And also I think it's good to just not always be feeding your mind with thoughts, products, as I'm sharing all these products, giving your mind some time just to kind of rest. And I like to do that with music, and this playlist I think is just really sweet. So I will have that link down below. And that is everything. That's all that I have for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed. I'm really excited for February. I think it can be a really just sweet month. Again, sometimes it can be cold, can be kind of getting into those winter blues, but it's nice just to focus on those little joys and little things to look forward to, little things to work on, and that is kind of my mindset with this new month. So hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will catch you guys in my next one. Bye, friends.